Hello everyone. So our new topic is the small intestine, basic structures and the digestion process that starts in small intestine. So starting with the structure, we all know that the stomach empties its contents into the small intestine, and small intestine is highly coiled tube-like structure, and it is about 7.5 meter in the length. It is also derived from the name that it is called as the small intestine, but it's not actually that much small, and it is greater than the large intestine in size. Third function says that it receives the secretions from the liver in the form of bile and from the pancreas in the form of pancreatic juice. So small intestine is basically a highly coiled tube-like structure. You have already seen in various types of human alimentary canals diagram, and it is about of the length of 7.5 meter. Actual length is 7.5 meter, but greater than the large intestine. Third one says that it also receives the secretion from the stomach and from the liver and the pancreas. From the liver it receives in the form of bile, and from the pancreas it receives the secretions in the form of pancreatic juice. Now the secretions are poured into the small intestine. So from here we all know that the stomach passes its content into the small intestine, and the secretions are basically, or we can say the secreted juice in the small intestine consist of the maltose, lactose, sucrose, peptidase and lipase. So these all are the secretions of the small intestine after the digestion process starts. Now the digestion in the small intestine. So we all know that the stomach already digests a huge amount of the substance through the actions of the enzymes and the digestive juice and the HCl acid that is present in the stomach. Now in the digestion in the small intestine, so the digestion of the food takes place in the duodenum. Here the duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. That means it is the first part of the small intestine, that is the starting point or the starting structure of the small intestine. If this is the starting structure of the small intestine, then the first structure, this much is all about the structure, that is the duodenum. So the digestion of the food takes place in the small intestine in the part of the duodenum, and the small intestine receives the digestive juice from the liver. We all know that here there is a huge impact of the liver and the pancreas in the digestion of the small intestine. So the small intestine receives various types of digestive juice from the liver and the pancreas. From the liver we had already seen that in the form of bile, and from the pancreas in the form of pancreatic juice. Now the question arises that they only receive the secretions from the liver and the pancreas. So the answer will be no. Small intestine itself also secrete a huge amount of secretions or the digestive juice. Now there are some actions, or we can say there are three major enzymes present in the pancreatic juice. So the first one is the trypsin, second one is the amylase, and the third one is lipase. So trypsin is basically for the action or for the digestion of the proteins. Amylase is basically for the digestion of the fats, and the lipase is for the starch. So after being partially digested, the food moves in the second part of the small intestine, where it is acted upon enzymes such as the maltase, sucrase and the lactase. So in this process, the second parts in the small intestine, so the protein, that is the end product of the protein, after they get secreted or they get digested, the protein is converted into the amino acid. The fat gets converted into the fatty acids and the glycerol. Third one, that is the starch, they get converted into the glucose or galactose, or sometimes in the form of fructose. Now here are some function of the liver. So the main function of the liver is to secrete the bile juice, and the bile juice is stored in a sac like structure that is also known by the term gallbladder. Gallbladder. So in the gallbladder, this bile juice is actually present, or they get stored in this gallbladder. So in the next part of the video we will understand about the topic, that is the what is the function of the liver and the digestive system, and the function of the bile and what is the pancreas. So till then, thanks for watching this topic.